For decades, people have tried to improve communication speed. From the invention of the telephone to the invention of the internet, communication has gotten faster and faster so we can always share information with one another. However, just because we've increased the speed at which we can do it doesn't necessarily mean it's become any easier to understand or clearly communicate with one another. I'm sure everyone understands, whether you're in a group chat with your family trying to come up with dinner ideas or at a large company meeting trying to think of quarterly goals, it can be really difficult to communicate clearly with one another. So then the question becomes, what's the best way that a business can communicate with one another so they can run efficiently and effectively? Hi, I'm Liam Townsend, and I'm here with Robbie Sheets, Ryan Glenn, Grady Walker, Zach Finlayson, and Carl Middleton. And we're here to represent Communication Nation and propose ideas to you, the University of West Georgia's Housing Department, how you can improve your communication and ultimately become the best housing department that this country's ever seen. Now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about our company background. Communication Nation was founded at the University of Alabama by two students, Luke Gresky and Kevin Palmer, when they were in a communications class. They had a project in which they were expected to create or research a company and find out where they could improve their communications to be able to act more effectively and efficiently. They chose a local law firm, and when they finished their project, they showed the presentation to the law firm, who was so excited at the ideas that they decided to hire them on the spot. From then, Communication Nation was born, and we've gone from helping small local businesses like doctor's offices or law firms to helping national conglomerates like Adidas or Dick's Sporting Goods. At Communication Nation, we have three values that drive us: honesty, responsiveness, and adaptivity. Our first value, honesty, is founded in that we believe it is necessary for us to communicate clearly about where your shortcomings are as a company and where your successes are. This will enable you to make effective changes as well as continuing to encourage the good practices that you have. Our second one, responsiveness, is founded in that we believe it's necessary to make your company know you are more than just a number to us. We value your time and we're here to work for you. As a result, we have a policy and act that we will respond to any text, email, or phone call within 24 hours so we can quickly respond to any questions you may have. Our third value, adaptivity, is seated in the belief that technology is moving faster and faster, and for companies to be able to sustain a competitive advantage, they have to adapt to the technology and learn quickly. With that being said, Communication Nation will make sure that your company is on the forefront of the technology frontier to make sure that you guys are working quickly and effectively in any way that you can to communicate better. When it comes to making the transition with Communication Nation, we believe that your staff are at the heart of these changes. Your staff is behind the scenes working day to day in all the different processes so they understand where some of the changes might need to be made. Plus, research shows that as staff are more involved in the change process, they feel more comfortable and enabled to actually work within the new systems that are being set in place. With that in mind, we begin our process by meeting with your staff. We want to know where they feel like the company isn't having success in their communication and what sort of ideas they have to be able to improve that. Afterwards, as we begin implementing either new technologies, new styles of listening, new ways to communicate, we make sure to train your staff fully so they have an excellent understanding of how to proceed their day-to-day moving forward. At the end of the day, we know that your staff is going to be vital to actually making these changes, so we want to make sure that they feel comfortable with it. Now, I'm going to pass it on to Ryan, who's going to talk about our statement of need.
Hi, I'm Ryan Glenn. Our goal for the company is to provide your business with the best communication possible. We will go inside and implement a system to make the communication better for internally and externally. For example, we are working on making communication easier for students to make it easier to contact the department and the department to contact students. Like I referenced in the other slide, our goal is to benefit everyone, especially students and especially the stakeholders. The stakeholders will benefit in a way they will see profit going up, and you also see that there will be more students coming to your organization because of the awesome recommendations and awesome reviews that you get from your communication department.
Raise your hand if you played sports growing up as a kid. Thank you. Now, as you might recall, one of the first things that your coach probably taught you growing up is how to effectively communicate with your teammates. Now, what this does is it ultimately betters your chances at winning the game, because if you know what's going on around you and with your teammates, you automatically have a leg up on your opponent. Now, this is not by mistake that they teach you this at a young age either. As the great basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski once said, effective teamwork begins and ends with communication. If you break down your department and look at it as a team, you might realize that the better that you communicate with one another, the better that your department will probably run as a whole. And I wholeheartedly believe that. The more the communication, the more that y'all communicate with one another, the more smoothly things are probably going to run. My name is Zach Finlayson, and I'm in charge of internal communication with Communication Nation. At Communication Nation, we pride ourselves with working alongside with our clients to maximize their efficiency. And we have proven our worth time and time again, and that is why we say we lead the nation in communication. After reviewing your department, we've come up with a chart that demonstrates how your department communicates internally. We have broken this chart down into 3 categories, which include email, phone call, and face-to-face interaction. As you can see, the most prominently used form of communication that your department utilizes is email, followed by phone call, and then lastly, face-to-face communication. We have selected 2 universities with departments similar to yours to compare your department to. The universities that we selected were the University of Georgia's Housing Department and Oklahoma State University's Housing Department. As you can see, the chart is broken down into 4 categories, which include social media, email, phone call, and face-to-face communication. As you can also see, the University of West Georgia ranks below both the University of Georgia's Housing Department and Oklahoma State University's Housing Department in all 4 categories, and that is what we are here to fix. The information that we have discussed here today is crucial when determining the success of your department. It's very important to take a step back and see where your department ranks nationally compared to other departments similar to it. It's also important to take a step back and look at your weaknesses, and so you can see where you're weak, the areas that you need improvement in, and you can take those weaknesses, turn them into your strengths, and overall improve your department as a whole. With that being said, I'd like to thank you for listening to what I have to say today, and I'm going to pass it along to our external communications representative, Robbie Sheets. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Robbie Sheets, and I'm doing the external communications part of our presentation. Did you know that 99.9% of businesses will fail at some point if they lack communication externally? It is an essential part to the growth of any department or business, because getting your name out there to not just the people within your business, but around your area or even around the world at some point can cause substantial gains within the business. The Housing and Residence Life Department currently utilizes 3 ways to communicate externally. The first being advertising, which is one of the most important ways of externally communicating so that you can spread your department's ideas throughout the campus or even outside of the campus. The second is social media, which is also very important because most students, if not all students, do use social media these days. Lastly is email and text, which is also just as important as the other two, because if the other two do not work, then you can use the email, which every student at the University of West Georgia does have. The SWOT analysis is a unique way to identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within your department. The Housing and Residence Life Department was carefully evaluated here at Communication Nation, and we found some great, surprising, but yet revealing results. Your strengths include advertising, mostly through posters and signs, and also notifications on news of upcoming events or important news that is done through email or text. Your weaknesses were found through a survey of over 100 students that all related to the same thing at the end of the survey, which was your connection and/or communication to your students within the housing and residence. Your threats include local apartment complexes around campus. And finally, your opportunities include a larger social media presence and improved connection through verbal or nonverbal communication within your students.
So now that you all have heard Communication Nation's proposal to the University of West Georgia's Housing and Residence Life Department, we guarantee working with Communication Nation is going to benefit and improve the Housing and Residence Life Department here at the university. The department has been on a recent decline in recent years due to the fact of having poor communication skills and means. With our company, we guarantee and will improve your department's overall communication, and with our recommendations, it is a guarantee. With our recommendations in the organization's image, internal communications, and external communications, the university's Housing and Residence Life Department will see a significant increase in the efficiency of their communication. With the creation of an app that will have access to the campus's housing department's portal and allow social media and notifications to go through using the app, it'd be very beneficial, and we have had success in the past doing this. Oklahoma State has an app at their school in their department, and it has seen significant results. Internal communication, with that, face-to-face and phone calls are the best forms because it leads to no misinterpretations or any confusions after the conversation. It also shows expression and is a physical conversation, so you can see emotions and how one carries himself, essentially. West Georgia's Housing and Residence Life Department does a good job with advertising and having social media accounts, but with the use of more billboards and having signs in heavier traffic areas and throughout the whole state, it will lead to more students wanting to go to West Georgia and live in their housing, and even current students. The use of emails can be very helpful, but it is also lengthy, and there's also some misinterpretations. So tend to try to use our recommendations for that to where you don't overuse it and cause yourself more confusion and problems. With our experienced staff and awesome track record with other large companies, Communication Nation will improve your department's image, internal communications, and external communications. If you do not see an increase in ratings or an increase in student housing, then money back guaranteed. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact us at 770-714-2848 or come visit our headquarters anytime at 359 Success Lane, Carrollton, Georgia, 30117. We also have a great website, so you can learn more about us at www.communicationnation.com. And do not forget, we lead the nation in communication. And now it is time for some questions and answers.
Working alongside Communication Nation would be a wise, long-term investment for your department because our tactics have been proven to work time and time again, and our results speak for themselves. Here at Communication Nation, we pride ourselves in taking communication to the next level by identifying your department's weaknesses, turning them into your strongholds, while using your current strengths to help benefit your department all throughout the process. Not only if you work with Communication Nation will your internal employees see improvement, but the students that go through your department will see improvements as well, and your results will exceed all expectations. Thank you.
So one of the questions I heard was to talk about how the implementation of Slack, which is an internal communication program, is going to improve the housing department's image. It's a great question, especially considering how it's an internal communication program. One of the best things about Slack is it has a search engine built into it. So if you need to find information that, say, coworkers have talked about in the past, instead of having to send a message and wait for a response, you can go and search the keywords to whatever you're looking for and find the conversations about it in the past. It also lets you know who talked about it, so if you need to ask any questions to that person, you know exactly who to talk to. There are also the ability to have certain channels that are focused on different topics. For example, if there's a budget channel, any questions related to budget, you can go straight to there instead of having a general chat that's going to create a little bit of jumble and difficulty in finding whatever information you need. This improves your image and that it allows the housing department to respond to families and students a lot faster. So if you're just going through email, it can take a lot of time for someone to respond to that, and sometimes it's not as clear as it needs to be. But the user interface behind Slack makes it so it's pretty easy to send messages. So if you don't understand immediately, you can reply and get a response pretty quickly, especially through the use of the app. So this will make the housing department seem a lot more unified and a lot more clear in their communication with students.
I believe your long-term potential has an opportunity to be the most prestigious one on campus. Students could save a lot of money using your service in college rather than using or going to an apartment nearby campus. The only way you're going to do that, though, is to get noticed and become more involved with the students you do have.
I believe the use of a social media app for the University of West Georgia's Housing Residence Life Department would be very beneficial because at Oklahoma State, they have one, and they're one of the top departments in the nation. If you look at the numbers, they have wonderful ratings. Their numbers are high. They have a lot of students who want to live there. So the app would include an access to the portal, the Housing Residence Life portal, as well as social media, so you can get all kinds of news, updates, and information. It would be, in today's world, it'd be very beneficial. Everyone's on their phones. Everyone uses social media apps. This would be crucial and be very beneficial for this department here at the University of West Georgia.